Hey friends, Kris here. We're starting another week on our subject, Made to Order. We're talking for a couple of weeks on bringing order into your life. And today's theme, it's time to clean house. Shout it out. It's time to clean house. You know, I'm an evangelist, but I lost my wife a couple of months ago, and so I am learning to be a housemaid. And so I know how to make beds and do laundry and do dishes and cook and everything that's involved. Guess what I found out? It doesn't fix itself. Now, I know on TV they have this little, you can lay in your recliner and push the remote control and this little robot thing goes around and does your vacuuming for you. But even then, you've got to push the remote. So this thing doesn't take care of itself. Notice this in 2 Thessalonians 3, verse 11. We're talking about order. For we hear that there are some which walk among you disorderly, working not at all, but are busybodies. So I want you to get off the couch and tune in today. Several points. Number one, the natural order is disorder. Now in physics, that's the law of entropy. And put simply, entropy means a measure of disorder. That is the second law of thermodynamics, which states that all closed systems tend to maximize entropy. You say, what does that mean? Well, the teeth left to themselves yellow and get cavities. The yard's going to sprout dandelions. The garage and your closet are just going to get fuller and more packed with stuff, and the kids' room becomes a pigsty. The natural order is disorder. Second, entropy can only be halted by energy. Let me say that again. Entropy can only be halted by energy. And so now, not only an evangelist and a handmaid or a housemaid, I've just become a physicist, okay? In other words, you have to wash the dishes and vacuum the house. I read this online yesterday. Reversing this ever-increasing tendency toward disorder requires the input of energy. That's why housekeeping is so tiring, and left to its own, your house will get dusty, spiders will move in, and eventually it will fall apart. And that's why when Paul spoke of people walking disorderly, the verse before it, verse 10, says that if any would not work, neither should he eat. So the cure for disorder might be withholding some meals. But here's the problem with energy and physics. When energy is applied here, it is disapplied over there. So when things start to get cleaned up here, it goes back to deterioration over there. And that's why you want to throw up your hands on this subject of order and say, what's the use? Number three, it helps to couple praying with your spraying. So while you're spraying pesticide on the dandelion and you're spraying cleaner on the shower curtain, it helps to be praying while you're spraying. David said in Psalm 119, verse 133, order thou my steps in thy word, and let no iniquity have dominion over me. So he was praying while he was spraying. And then number four, and I've got to read this because I wrote this down, I think it's good. When you take it out, pick it, put it back. When you empty it, refill it. When you break it, replace it. When you wrinkle it, iron it. When you stain it, scrub it. When you open it, close it. When you turn it on, turn it back off. And when you spill it, mop it. OMG, I'm starting to turn into my mother. Well, that happens when you start thinking about order. You know, the priests in Exodus 40 and verse 4, in the tabernacle, there was order, and it said, you shall bring in the table and set in order the things that are to be set in order upon it. So the lamps were in order, the oil was in order, the bread was placed in rows on the table. Everything with God demands order. And then number five, the words order and ordinary come from the same root. So if you want to move to extraordinary, then you have to have extra order. What do you mean by that? Ordinary, they also come from the word ordain or ordination. So it's talking about putting things in rows and in rank and in proper arrangement. Really, that's what it's talking about. Order is proper arrangement. 1 Corinthians 14 and verse 40, let all things be done decently and in order. And we're talking about ordering your mind, your minutes, your moods, your money, your marriage, your ministry. When you get these things in proper order, then you become extraordinaire. Praise God. Kris here. Hey, it's time to clean house, okay? Clean house with Congress, clean house with your own house. Kris here, hope you're enjoying the series. If you like, share it with a friend, and tune in tomorrow for more on Made to Order.